Hello guys, and welcome to another TKG Games tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to be dissolving problem 3 on Project Euler, which is finding the largest prime. So what it does is it gives us the prime numbers for, or at least the factors for 13,195, and then we have to figure out what's the biggest prime number. However, it's asking us to find the largest prime number of this number, which is like really huge, as you guys can see across the screen. So what I just did was I just checked this number against long.max value to see if it can fit in long, and that was fine. Or you could have used big integer. But let's talk about how we managed to come up with or how I managed to come up with the answer, because using brute force might work for smaller numbers, but with this particular number it takes forever. It took me about 20 minutes to get the right answer, and I have a pretty good machine. So what I did was came up with a new way of doing it. This was something that I actually learned way back taking the math class, so I'm going to just apply that here. So what I want to do is just pull up Notepad++ or Paint. No, let's pull up Paint here for a second. And let's say, for example, that we have a number. Let's take 12, for example. Right? So to get the lower half of all the numbers that divide 12, what we can do is we could take the square root of 12. That should be equivalent to about 3.4 or something, I think. Yes, because 16 would be 4, right? So 3, yeah, roughly about that. So what we want to do is we want to cast this to an int, so we eventually get just 3. So we want to take the numbers that are below 3 plus 3 inclusive, but not 0, because we divide a number by 0, we get a problem. So what we want to do, we want to start either from 1 or 2. So let's just take 2, for example. So we take the numbers from 2, we go from 2, so we're going to have 2 and 3, right? So we know that 12 divides 2 and 12 divides 3. So since we already have these two factors of 12, what we can do here is we just say that 12 divided by 2 is going to give us 6, and 12 divided by 3 is going to give us 4, right? So now what we do is we have almost all the factors, which would be 2, 3, 4, and 6, and we know that we could just append 12 at the back to get all of it. So now that we have this list here, now we have to find which ones are prime numbers or not, right? So what we can do is we could place a counter that can check to see how many times the number divides into the numbers below it and itself. So we know that a prime number divides to 1 and itself, so we start dividing from 1. So we go, so no, 2 is a prime number, and we know that 3 is a prime number, 4 is not a prime number. So for example, why is 4 not a prime number? The reason is because we start from 1, we know that 4 divides 1, divides 2, and itself, right? So our typical counter here would only be 2. However, the entire list that divides 4 is going to be 3. So if counter is greater than 2, right, then that means that that number is no longer prime. And so this is how I pretty much implemented the solution. And I didn't really write timer to get the runtime, but it runs in a very reasonable time compared to a brute force solution. So we're going to go ahead and actually implement that. Let me get some things set up and I'll be right back. So what I'm going ahead here is just set up a simple class. I'm calling this largest prime because we're finding the largest prime. And let's get coding. The first thing I want to do is create a static method here, and I'm going to use sets. You can use anything you want. You can use list, however you want. And I'm going to make this longs, and I'm going to make sure that I import it by hitting Alt and Enter for IntelliJ, it's a shortcut. And then I'm going to call this factors, right? And then what we want to do here is take in a long, because that's what can hold that number. I'm just going to call this number. So what we need to do first is we need to create a set variable to hold our factors, and I'm going to call this factors. I'll just call it factor, and that's going to be equal to a new hash set. And you guys know that sets can't have duplicates. I was gonna work something around this earlier, but I kind of lost why I even use it, so I'm just gonna keep it that way. And what we need next is to get the square root. So remember, we have to square that number, so I'm gonna call this square root. And that is gonna equal our math dot square root, and I'm going to pass in that a number, and since this returns a floating value, I'm going to cast this to a long. Okay, and that fixes the problem. So next we want to do is create a for loop here, and we want to start our variable. Since we're using long, I'm just going to stick with long here. All right, because if I don't do that, when I want to add, I have to cast it. If I use an int, I have to cast it back to a long. Just things that I want to not do. And what I want to do is start at 2. You can start at 1, but then it just adds a number back in there, which is fine. I mean, it doesn't really matter. And if the number is less than or equal to the square root, that's where we want to stop. Or we just go ahead and increment and go to the next value. Alright, so what we have next is we want to figure out if the value that we're currently looking at, if the number divides that value, then we can go ahead and add as a factor. So we'll say if number mod x equal to 0, so the number divides evenly, you're gonna go to say factor, and then we're just gonna add x, right? So that's a factor. So now that we have the factors here, we have the lower part of the factor, anything that's less than or equal to the square root. But there are other ones that are bigger than the square root, so we have to figure that out. So we need another for loop for that. So we're going to say, what I want to do is just keep track. So I'm going to say, I'm going to create the current size, because I don't want to kind of access the factor size, because if I want to add things, it's going to grow inside of the loop, the for loop, and it's going to make things expand. So I want to create a variable outside that is going to be constant. So I'm going to use one as current size, and I'm going to make the current size equals to factor the size here. All right. If you know what I'm talking about, you should probably try it out and see. So what we're going to do next is create another variable. So I'm just going to use in here, and that's going to start at 0. I'm going to say y x is less than the current size, right? Which is increment. So what we'll do next is we want to get the factors for the numbers that divide evenly upwards, right? So we want to take last numbers that we have, divide it by number, and then add those. So what we're going to do is we're going to say factors dot add, right? And you want to say number divided by factor dot we can only use the iterator here because we don't have the get method, and then use the next value. So we're just going to get either 2 or 3. So the first time we go through, we should get 2. So we divide number divided by 2 is going to give us 6, right? And then next we have 3, so we get 4. And then what we want to do last is we just want to go ahead and append 12. Alright, so it's going to do ahead and append the number itself. And once we're done with this, we can just go ahead here and return factors. And voila, nous sommes finis. So now that we're done with this part, now we actually have to go ahead and find the largest prime. So what I want to do here is I could just create another private static long, and I'm going to call this largest prime because this is what we're actually trying to find. I'm going to take in that long number again because it's easier to pass in, right, through the other one. And what I want to do here is just create a set of longs to hold our factors from what we return. And I bet I need this to be a wrapper class. All right, and then we can use our, what do I call it, factors here. So say factors, and then we're going to pass in a number here, so that returns all of those factors. So what I want to do next is we want to have a variable. So I'm just going to call this long, and I'm going to call this largest. Okay, and that's going to be equal to 0. And then I'm going to use the for each loop. So I'm going to say for long, and I'm going to call that factor. No, let's say long fact and factors, right? So what we want to do first is we want to create a for loop here. All right, so we want to create a for loop. We're going to start with a long here. I'm going to call this div for divider. All right, I'm going to start that at 1, and I'm going to say why div is less than or equal to fact, right? And then we're going to go ahead here and increment. So remember that we want to divide and keep going up until we have a counter that doesn't work. All right, that's above 2, and then we can just exit from the inner loop. All right, so what we can do here is we can create a counter here. So I'm going to call it, say yeah, I'm just going to do int here. So int counter. The reason why I place this here and not anywhere else is because once this inner loop exits and comes back up, counter will reset itself right here, and so we don't have to really reset counter anywhere else, which kind of works in this case. So we're going to say that if fact mod div is equal to 0, then we can go ahead here and just increment counter. So the counter plus, right? So if the number divides evenly and counter is if it divides evenly, that means we count 1 up. So if 4 divides 1, we count 1 up. If it divides 2, we count 1 up. If it divides 4 itself, we count 1 up. So but what we want to do is count up so that we can check and see if the current value that we're looking at, it's either 2 or greater than 2. So that way we can either exit this loop or we can find the largest number, right? So what we want to do next is we want to say, okay, if count counter is greater than 1 and div, right, is less than fact. So if this occurs, then we can go ahead and break. So that means that, so since we're starting counter at 0, it goes 0 and 1, right? So that's 2, right? If you start counter at 1, then we have to go up to 2. So we're saying that if the counter is greater than 1 and the div value is not equal to the current factorial, because the thing is that the div value, for example, if we have 2, for example, if 2 divides 1 and divides 2, we know that the div value would always have to equal the factorial for it to be a prime number, right? And the counter has to be 2 for that case. So if we divide 1 and 5, you know the counter is going to be 1 and then 2 for 5, and eventually div is going to equal to 5. So we're saying that if the counter is greater than 1 and div is not equal to the factorial, that means that it's not a prime number. All right, and we can go ahead here and break. Also, if div, right, finally equals to the fact, that means that and it hasn't broken out yet, that means that we're at actually a prime number. So what we can do, we can say that largest equals math dot max, right? And then what we want to do, we want to pass in the current value in largest and the fact value, right? And what we can do next here is just go ahead here and return largest, and voila, we are done. Okay, I hope this makes sense. So what we want to do next is we want to go ahead here and just create a min and test this out. Sometimes I static void main string array arcs. All right, so I'm gonna do s out t here shortcut, and I'm gonna do largest, and I'm gonna do 35. So with 35 we should get 7, right? So I'm gonna run this. Okay, and you guys can see we do get 7, and if I pass in 100, we should get 5 for the biggest value. And you can always just write a test case as fast as possible as you want. So here I do have a test folder, and so I could run something really simple here. So to create a test folder, you create a regular directory here, and then you go to your projects here and go to structure, click on that folder and hit the test, and it's going to apply as a test folder, and then you can just click OK. So what I want to do is you go onto the class name. This is if you're using IntelliJ, and hit Alt and Enter, and it's going to ask you to create a test class. Go ahead and create a test inside of yes. So we want to create a test there, and what we want to do is we want to pick maybe JUnit 5, JUnit 4, and hit OK. All right, and it's saying that such and such is not found. Actually, I didn't want to create this inside of here, so I'm going to go ahead and take it out. I want to create this inside of the test folder. Let me see what's going on. So go back to projects, go back to structure, pick this folder and hit test. Okay, apply. Okay, so go back here, hit Alt, Enter, and create test. All right, largest prime test, JUnit 5. All right, and we're good to go. So go click OK. All right, so now you guys can see that actually works. So what I want to do here is we want to go ahead and just create an annotation for test. See, that comes up, and you want to create a variable, a function. So void, let's call this test function. All right. And what we can just do is let's just do this out, and since I did this as private here, let me go back and change this to public, because we need to access this inside of another class. And let's go back into test here, and let's copy this for a second. Let's do a for loop. So the for, and we do int equals to 1. Let's do x less than 2000. All right, x plus plus, and we copy the s out, and then we do x. Let's concatenate largest prime is equal to, and then we're going to concatenate x. My bad. We're going to concatenate largest prime dot largest prime and then x, and that should just print out the values here. So we can go ahead and run this test here, and this should give us all the prime numbers for these values. Okay, so we start at 1, so that we get all the primes pretty much. So for 4 we get 2, 5 we get 5. So you guys can see that this actually does work. So this is how we can create tests pretty much. And yeah, so now let's go back into our largest prime here, and come on computer, there we go. And let's go ahead here and copy that huge number and paste it in. So I'm gonna go to here, I'm gonna copy this number, and I'm gonna go back into IntelliJ, and I'm just gonna Control V. And the reason why it's giving an error because you need to add L here. All right, so now that we have that, let's go ahead here and run this, and you guys can see that I got the answer right away. And this is what we get for this answer. Alright guys, this will be it for this tutorial. I hope to see you guys in that tutorial. Have a good day. Bye bye.